What are you looking at, and what are you going to be focusing on when polls first close?
Yeah, I mean, fitting that we've already got some results, and it's still a tie, I guess, given the given how this is going. So, okay, the first poll closings, you see the countdown here. That's going to be in most of or some of Indiana and Kentucky. Obviously, we don't expect either state to be a swing state, to be a battleground. We'll see if there's any surprises or a couple counties in those states that might give us some kind of a clue, although they're usually very slow at counting in Indiana. So really, it is 7 o'clock Eastern. That is when the action is going to start. The first core battleground state, Georgia. Polls close there, and I think this is key to keep in mind. If we think back to 2020, remember the weekend after the election, we were still waiting on a result in Georgia. It may be very different this time around. There's been a change in the state law, a change in the process, and what it essentially means is that in that first hour between 7 and 8 p.m., we expect, if all goes to plan, about 80% of all the votes cast in Georgia will be counted and known publicly in that first hour. The only thing that will be left after that would come in over the next couple hours would be the people going out to Georgia, cast polls in Georgia today and casting votes in person today. The vast majority was done early, and that will be reported out in the first hour. A major, major clue could come early. 7:30, you just heard North Carolina polls close then. Also expected to be a fairly quick counting state. The possibility, unless it's razor thin, which is also possible, of getting a little bit of clarity in these states early is very real tonight. 8 o'clock, you see a Michigan poll close with a star. Almost all of Michigan closes at 8. You'll see results. You will not get a call in Michigan guaranteed between 8 and 9, because at 9 o'clock there are 4 counties in the fringes of the UP that close their polls. Then the whole state closes, and then we'll see where we are. But of course, we expect it to be longer than that in Michigan anyway. Pennsylvania, the big one, 8 o'clock. Polls are going to close there. Key thing to keep in mind, what's going to happen almost entirely in the state is they have a ton of vote by mail. Not as much as before, but a ton of it. All of it, or just about all of it, is going to be released first by the counties in Pennsylvania. So that means the Democrats, because they do so well with vote by mail, you can expect that in the 8 to 9 o'clock window or so, you're going to see the best numbers Democrats put up in Pennsylvania then. And the question is going to become, as the Election Day vote, the people going out to vote today, a more Republican group, as that gets added to the mix in Pennsylvania later in the night, what kind of a hole is Donald Trump in, and can he come out of that hole with the Election Day vote? We expect that sequence in Pennsylvania. It says 9 o'clock for Arizona. Okay, 9 o'clock Eastern, the polls close. Also, the state law, they must wait an hour after that, so 10 p.m. Eastern. And by the way, when it comes out in Arizona at 10 p.m., you're going to get about 2/3 of all the vote in the state at 10 p.m. It could be slower after that, but we will get a lot. Wisconsin, 9 o'clock. There could be a big development. Milwaukee usually reports out the rest of its vote in the wee morning hours. We're talking about like 100,000 votes we could be waiting on. Keep that in mind. Nevada, 10 p.m. But in Nevada, sometimes it could take a couple hours after that to even get some votes reported out. So bottom line, we have the potential this time around to have more clarity more quickly in this election than 2020, but the possibility we could be waiting in a state like Nevada, waiting in a state like Arizona for days looms as well.